What's up, guys? We are back with another NECA Predator review, taking a look at the next entry in the Lost Tribe, and we've been waiting a while to finally get this tribe moving and get things back on track and finish this out, because you know, Predator's been spotty for a little bit now. But we're taking a look today at the ultimate Shaman Predator, and I've really been looking forward to this one. I'm a big fan of the Lost Tribe stuff to begin with, but I've always liked this look, and specifically the mask. So we've got an ultimate style box, of course, with some fantastic artwork of the Shaman Predator on the front. We've got the Predator 30th anniversary callouts on the spines, and then the back of the box gives us a bio, a cross-sell for the rest of the tribe, as well as some product shots for this particular figure. But of course, it's an ultimate box, so it's got the flap. So you can pop that open and you've got a big shot of the Shaman Predator here on the inside, as well as your figure in the big window. So let's do it. Let's pull them out and take a look. And here we go, out of the package, our NECA Ultimate Shaman Predator. Another entry one step closer into finishing the Lost Tribe. And you know, I say that and I honestly don't know if I've actually reviewed any of these Ultimate Lost Tribe members. I can't recall, because again, it's been a long time since we really got back into the Predator swing of things. This guy did get an older release, which I never got a hold of in the pre-Ultimate days. So this is an update and a lot of new accessories for this guy as well. I will say right off the bat, the cool factor for this guy comes once you put all of his accessories on him, because he looks infinitely cooler with all the extra stuff. He's a pretty plain Predator by all accounts. And the brief time you see him in the movie, you know, in Predator 2, he's not exactly remarkable. So let's see what he can do, see how he moves around. Being that he's fairly basic, he is exactly what you think he is for a NECA Predator. So we've got a head that can look up pretty good. He can look down really nice. Tilt side to side, full rotation, all that good stuff. Arms out at the shoulders. Rotation, of course. We've got our bicep swivel. We've got double jointed elbows that go all the way back. Really nice range there. You've got hinges. You've got rotation at the wrist. Diaphragm cut as usual, so it's rotation, but it's also a tilt point backwards, forwards, side to side. His waist joint is just a ball, so it affords a little bit more movement, not a lot, but it's also another swivel point. Legs go out about that far. He does have a bunch of stuff on his belt, so that does get in the way, but they have solid range. Kick forward basically all the way. Backwards a slight bit. Got a thigh cut up there. We've got our double jointed knees, of course, as usual. And then we've got our normal, unfortunately, our normal Predator ankles down here. So these are just ball pegs. I'm still not the biggest fan of them. They tend to weaken over time is the big thing. So they swivel or they rotate. You've got a little bit of decent rocker there, and then a little bit of forward and backward motion. But nothing that's better than like a standard disc hinge, at least for a foot, in my opinion. So, you know, when it comes to a Predator, if you've messed with an Ultimate Predator, at least within the past couple years, you know exactly what to expect here. And in that same vein, he is exactly what you expect an Ultimate Predator to be when it comes to the visuals and aesthetics. There is, and this isn't really a negative thing, because the figure does get infinitely cooler once we talk about all the stuff he comes with, but he's a very base form Predator. There is nothing remarkable about this guy outside of the fact that right out of the box, he is very low tech. And I think that obviously makes sense a little bit in terms of him being called the Shaman Predator. Sounds a little bit more mystical, maybe a little bit more grounded. He's not maybe the one that's going to use plasma casters and stuff like that. And that's definitely the situation here. But his appearance is very much in line with that. So he's just a Predator. There's really nothing special about him. He's got a more of a, I don't want to say primitive, because he's still an incredibly advanced alien, but a more primitive looking loincloth with pouches and more leather to it than anything else. His body is, of course, as usual, covered in sculpted netting. You've got all that painted on there. You've got the spotting all over him. He's very light in color. You know, he's almost kind of like the albino Predator in some ways, if you're familiar with that one. But a lot about this guy seems very low tech to me. And I like that. It's a different kind of thing. You know, Predators always kind of ride that line of being kind of low tech and also super, super advanced. This guy seems to be more on the low tech side of things. Everything just seems to be very minimal here. He does, of course, have an always present necklace with some bones, you know, little trophies there. He looks great, though, in a sense that there's just not a lot to talk about. He is exactly what you think he is. He is a very normal, standard Predator. I do like the head sculpt. I like the expression. I like his colors in particular, especially on this head. The spotting up top looks really great. His pred locks look good. I do recall there being something mentioned at one point that his locks should be a little longer than normal, and I don't really think that's the case here. I don't really think I'm missing out on that. But I do like the way everything looks. Everything's very clean and crisp. The sculpting is great. I mean, as usual, an Ultimate Predator is always really nicely sculpted, really well painted, and of course he moves better than they used to as a result of added articulation. So it's normal stuff here. Right out of the box, he is going to be your everyman's sort of Predator. Now, as far as accessories goes, this is where, like I said, this is where this figure becomes infinitely cooler to me, and this is how I'm always going to display him. So, to start with, we do get an extra head sculpt. I thought this was going to be just a mask, but it's a full-on head sculpt, and it's really like a mask too, because you can actually see the face underneath of this mask. And I don't know what this thing is supposed to be. You know, it kind of looks almost like a different kind of Predator skull, but it's clearly not, because it has no mandibles or any of that kind of stuff. But the frill and the overall shape of it very much sort of seems like that. But I think this is awesome. It definitely plays up the mystical, shamanistic side of thing. You know, it makes him look incredibly evil, too. Like, this guy looks kind of like the Predator boogeyman almost. And then he's got this, like, I mean, I called it a burlap sack, basically. And it really looks just like some tattered, like a bag that he's thrown over himself to make him look even more like ghostly and such. And it is wired, so it's got a wire that runs up and down around the shoulders, basically, so you can pose it, give it a windswept look. It's got some holes in there. Of course, it's super tattered because, well, it looks like some potatoes were in it, basically. But I really, really like this look, and it absolutely transforms the look of this figure and of this character. And then he's got some unique stuff as well, specifically this spear. You know, most Predators have like a combi stick or something, and that is not what this is. So he's got a very, again, kind of primitive looking spear. It's really long and thin, and then it's just got two of like their, what would normally be like their claw gauntlet blades, are what we've got up here at the top, and then you've got more bones sort of hanging off of it and adorning the top. So it's, again, very unique and very different. We do, of course, get some extra hands as a result. He's got a gripping hand on him now. He came with two style pose hands on him in the box. So you get two gripping, a left and a right, in addition to the style pose. And then we get another hand that is meant for the smart discs. So you get a smart disc that is closed, and you get one that is open. You know, fairly normal stuff. This is more along the, you know, the techie side of things for a Predator. We get this crazy looking axe that is made of a skull and spine with a blade sticking out of it. So the actual axe itself is another bone. There's a lot of bone with this guy, with this, maybe the, you know, again, more of the shamanistic, mystical side of it versus the technological side of things. And I think this is great. This, I don't know, I plan to put this in like a Mythic Legion's hand or something, but that's pretty rad. And then you also get another one. You get another bone-handled weapon. This looks another like one of their gauntlet blades, but much, much larger this time, covered in blood, and the handle is more bone. So again, another theme with the bone stuff. And then to just bring it all home, we get a human skull, which of course is bone, and it is covered in more blood. And that looks really good. That red is super rich and vibrant. So I do really like that. And this can actually go on the end of the spear. There's a little hole in there, and you can pop this on the top. So he comes with a pretty solid array of accessories. As usual, an Ultimate Predator is pretty well stocked with stuff. But what it does it for me is all of this new stuff. Specifically this head sculpt, this soft goods. I mean, the soft goods are nothing extravagant or exciting really, but they absolutely transform the look of this figure. And then he gets all this really cool bone-related stuff too that makes him look even more dark and menacing. So yeah, overall, absolutely love this guy. Again, there are two sides to this figure though. There is the fresh out of the box, kind of, I don't want to say boring, but boring Predator. He's very dull. There's nothing exciting about the actual base form of this Predator. He's just a regular old Predator. It's once you start kitting him out and equipping him with all this extra stuff that we get, from the tattered soft goods to that wild extra head sculpt to the spear and the axe and all this bone stuff, that everything truly changes and it becomes even more exciting. Again, I can't get over the fact that that nasty looking bag basically makes this figure so much cooler, but they did a really good job with those. Love the fact that it's got the wire in there, and it's just a rad looking figure. This is a dark, evil looking Predator that is definitely going to stand out once you've changed him up from the rest of the Lost Tribe for sure. So that's going to do it for this look at the NECA Toys Ultimate Shaman Predator. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.